Talk podcast with Alexis, Texas, and we are back, season 3. This is an After Dark episode, and I'm excited for today because we have the lovely Tasha Reign on the couch. Hello and welcome. Long time no see. I feel like, I've seen you on Instagram. I know more about your life on Instagram as much like your fans, which I think is really great because that's how you get to keep up with people. But I haven't seen you in forever. There's been a whole pandemic. There's been lots of changes in your life. And I'm excited to get to know all of those great things. And so is Private Talk. So what have you been up to, Miss Lady?
Hello, and thank you for having me here. I haven't seen you in so long. How many years has it been?
I mean, I have to throw out at least 2, but I feel like even prior to that, because, I hadn't really shot anything in quite some time. And really the only time we really saw stuff was at conventions, and then you stopped doing conventions. And I don't really know.
Yeah.
Because then I did go to your house, which was really cool, like with Lexi, but you weren't there, which I thought was, so I kind of felt like I saw you, but I didn't really see you physically. But yeah, it was a beautiful place. It was really cool. It is like, it's so you, I will say that it's like very, I was trying to describe you earlier. I was like, it's like you're like a fairy tale princess in your own fairy tale, which is cool to have that and preserve that like rareness and specialness. I think is like, really kind of, you take detail to a lot of things that people don't really kind of see. So I think it's cool to see.
Thank you. Thanks for coming there. I forgot about that. That's so cool.
Yeah. So what inspired you to do even like your house that way? I mean, like as far as like, like I said, it's like the cottage style, like did it come from, your mom does design and stuff like that. Did you have like inspiration from her? Did you always want like that fairy tale kind of look, or did just kind of like over time, you just added your little touches here and it became this magical place? Because it is quite magical.
It is magical. Yeah. I grew up in a house that was not as whimsical, but definitely like a cottage vibe. So when I saw that house, I was like, oh, it reminds me of my childhood. And so I actually originally got it just because the yard was big enough to house my pot-bellied pigs that you met. And then it needed quite a bit of just like maintenance and work, and we whited it all out. And then I just kind of got carried away with the fairy tale theme.
Carried away. I like how you tell on yourself that, but okay. Yeah. Awareness is key here, Tasha. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, it is themed. Like, I love a good theme, which I feel like makes sense because I love themes in porn too. But
nice.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about that too. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, but I moved out of that house after I had moved in to live with an ex-boyfriend, and then I started Airbnb-ing it out, and that's kind of when I was like, oh, it should be a theme. People will come here just to like be in a themed environment.
Now, did that happen?
Yes, and it was like really cool and lucrative. And then when I moved back in, I was like, well, I'm living in this now. So
was it just as much like excitement for you to have other people experiment or experience that excitement too? Because it seems like that's like the whole part of your theme. Like, you're doing Airbnb, they're reviewing it. Do you get that as much excitement from the other side as well?
Yeah, I really loved when people came to stay at the house and enjoyed themselves. And I still do like photo shoots there. Somebody's shooting a music video on Monday, which I'm excited about. I love other people being in a space that I created and enjoying themselves. So, yeah.
So you said themes in porn. What kind of porn themes do you like? And have you done for, I'm sure, your OnlyFans?
What? I feel like I really need to step up my OnlyFans game. I'm not going to lie to you. It's like a lot of amateur stuff.
So no themes will be shown here at on Tasha Reign's.
I mean, oh my God.
Were you talking about themes? Were you talking about more like the parody side of porn, or just like what kind of theme? So like, are you speaking out?
I don't like.
Tasha.
I don't like parodies personally. Okay. I don't know why.
Was that because you played a bad character in one and got like a really bad wig? Because I've had that happen to me. I had to play, it was a Frasier parody, and I was Frasier's ex-wife, which I don't even know, but like Phyllis or something like that. She gave me this crazy black hair, curly hair wig that was so awful that I was like, please don't ever hire me for something that I have to wear these like, no, I don't want to be painted blue. I don't want to do any of those things.
Oh my God.
So I didn't do a lot of parodies. I feel like I kind of dodged and waved. I mean, I did.
I feel like you did.
I mean, I did the generic ones. Like I was Kelly from 90210 parody. I did an office thing, but I was just like an office chick. I wasn't like, everything was like the basic chick. I could do those things. I just didn't like doing those things. I think I was in some maybe like AI movie for Wicked at one point, but my role was very minor. It was more sex driven, you know what I mean? So I didn't really have to do all that stuff. It was maybe a motorcycle thing, again, a sex role. Like they knew what I was good at. They kept with what was going on. There was a pattern here and I'm okay with it. Like I didn't really think, I didn't really care so much about the acting. I just wanted to get straight down to the point and having sex.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, for me, I feel like a much deeper issue with parodies. Like so I feel like parodies, it's almost like you're making fun of either like what it is that you're portraying or even of yourself. And it's like this kind of comedy routine that's involved, even if the parody isn't funny, it's supposed to kind of be.
Yeah.
And I just like, I'm not a comedian.
But we're acting. It's like, it's porn's not all real. There, you've been on sets when things happen. When you're watching movies in mainstream, it's not really. It's portrayed as certain things.
100%. But I actually think about this all the time. I'm always like, I wish there was another word for, performer, I feel like is like a legit word. I like that. Like there's not a lot of kind of stigma associated with the word performer, but I just feel like when I think of porn that I like to do, it's just a little bit more, not even vanilla, but just like just not comedy porn. It's just not what I like.
So what do you like? Tell Private Talk what you like.
Like what kind of porn I like to be in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm most comfortable in porn where it's pretty pretty mainstream. I don't want to say vanilla because I do like a little bit of S&M, but I like to feel glamorous and pretty and just kind of not pushing myself too much to too many extremes, like out of my comfort zone. Mm-hmm. So just kind of, I guess it is kind of vanilla porn. I do enjoy that. I feel like I know what to expect. It's the same thing. You look pretty, you have sex. I like that. But when somebody paints you blue as an alien, you're like,
I totally get, like I said, yeah. I've never been painted blue ever in my life.
I have.
See,
for Wicked.
No.
Yeah, I was blue. No. It looked good, but.
Was your vagina blue?
You know what? It could have just been my lips that were blue. And I'm thinking my whole outfit was
How
blue.
do you go from your whole body to your lips, Tasha?
I just felt
What is going on here?
You're right. No,
I know that there's no rosé in you because you got a baby in the oven over there. And so I know that you can't go from, I was painted completely blue to wait, it might have been just my lips. And what lips are you talking about?
Could you imagine?
Did you just get blue lips on set? Because blue lips are not fun for anybody. And I hope you know what that is.
I think it would be the opposite of a blue ball.
There we go.
Have you ever had that?
Yes, it's the worst.
I think I've had that too.
Like men suck at doing that because I feel like, and that's also why for me as a woman and like being more communicative or like being a better communicator with my partner at the time, because like sometimes it'd be really great, but I wouldn't be saying like, oh, don't stop or whatever. And then they'd stop. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, they can't really read my mind either. So, I've gotten better at being vocal and not demanding, but saying what I like. Yeah. And in a non, like, because it's also weird too, like being in your personal life where it's like, I don't want to be too porno. I mean, like directing someone what to do. I don't want to teach you. I don't want to do anything. No. I just want it to be a great time. Why can't we just show up and just know what we want to do? So talking about a great time, you definitely had a great time over here. You had a good time. So tell us about this new adventure of yours.
Oh, I'm so excited. So
I know it's been something you've been wanting for a really long time.
For my whole life.
I followed you, like you said, your journey through everything that you've gone through, and I think that it was really cool of you as well to be so open and like advocate for people like yourself. Like you were adamant you wanted to have a child, like in your last relationship. That wasn't something that worked out, but it was something that, as an adult, I thought was really good communication. If that's not what he wanted, you wanted, and it's setting boundaries and standards for yourself, and letting yourself know that look what this beautiful chapter meant, and everything happens for a reason. So I think it's really cool of you and very honorable to see you kind of portray your life in the limelight that you have it, but also give your own voice to it, and it's been a beautiful thing.
Thank you. Yeah, the decision to like be so vocal on Instagram about my baby journey was like kind of difficult. I thought at first like, oh, I'll just keep this private. And then I'm like, you know what? Other people are struggling with this and should know about like fertility and about procreation and all of this. And it was also just like a nice way to kind of vent, almost like you're journaling about what I was going through. But yeah, and I really have wanted to have children for like literally a decade, and I just didn't really feel like I was in either the right place, or I felt like I had to have like the right partner, honestly, to have a family. And the partner I had just didn't want to have kids anytime soon, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine like being 1 minute older and having kids. Like I want them now. It's like it was this very like urgent desire to do. So we broke up because of it, and I went to try to do IUIs on my own, which is like this basically artificial insemination by myself, and just become a mom. And it was like, it was very draining because you have to like do a bunch of drugs and like nothing fun, just drugs that they pump into your uterus. And it's just extremely emotionally tolling. And eventually it did work. I got pregnant. I was so excited, and I miscarried the pregnancy pretty early on. And I was like, oh my God, I have to keep going through this. And then magically, my boyfriend stepped into my life and was like, I want to have a family. So it just worked out. And now I'm here, and I'm almost 6 months pregnant. And I'm like,
awesome.
Thank you. I'm like, how did this happen? Oh my gosh. It's like, it feels like yesterday. So it definitely is my dream.
That's awesome, because I'm a believer of like, you manifesting and like speaking things into existence. And sometimes as women, we hold on to things because, it's our own insecurities or things that we want in something, and we see, there's like these red flags that come up in relationships that we want to make green so bad because we want it to work. And it's like, for you, honoring yourself and just staying true on your path and finding again the next partner after, of like wanting the same things with you, I feel like is the destiny of what it should happen.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think sometimes it works out. Like women and men will stay in relationships hoping that their partner will eventually kind of like compromise and do what they want to do.
But that to me, I feel is settling. And I don't think that there's more people. And I feel like that's kind of why, especially we've been in this, the pandemic world where a lot of people, we've been not woke for a long time because we didn't have time, and all these things that we just kind of like didn't think about because we were so busy. Everyone's always so busy. Where when this pandemic happened, it's like we had time to sit in our thoughts and sit like, and now we want to be woke. We want more. And that shouldn't be a bad thing. I think people should more advocate for what their wants and needs are, and not because somebody's giving you because someone likes you as an attraction. Like really go down the list of what do you need from a partner? What do you need? Somebody who wants to parent with you. You don't just want to co-parent, you want to do that journey together and do these things, and does the plan alter? Of course, it's life. We can't really, do things different, but it's just cool to know that you're standing true to who you are and what you really wanted. And, your blessing came, and, now you have your baby.
Yes. Yeah.
So was it, and then the dating, like how you said your boyfriend just came into your life, was it difficult because being in porn and being a performer, was that difficult to just date in general? Like how did that all come about as well?
Yeah, I feel like dating and porn for me has definitely been challenging. I think, honestly, some of the challenge I think is in my own head. It's like you have this vision of how other people see you, and then you go and you project that onto them. So I had to like really kind of come to terms with that, and like
it's natural though,
Yeah, and just like realize like, okay, that has
I always say like
me.
For me, it's like it's a me problem. I'm like, you may not know it all, but I'm like, I know it's me, but it still affects me that other people are around, because you're just a society type thing.
Oh,
like my thing is like integrating myself, like going to, for instance, as small as like going to a gym. I don't like to go because people are looking at me. Nobody's looking at me. But for me, I'm like, ever go. It's like when that whole thing when they're like, hey, when you're nervous, think of everyone naked. I'm like, no, everyone's just looking at me like I'm naked, and I'm not. But in my mind, that's what I think. But the more times you go and you get familiar with getting uncomfortable, now I'm like, nobody cares what you're doing, Alexis. Everyone's in their own workout. Everyone's doing whatever. But it's just little things like that I had to myself to like integrate into like, okay, are these big problems, or what is like this is, but like what's right for me? And you just have to keep pushing down those doors.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, it's like you're doing a vulnerable job, and then experiences happen where they change the lens you look through. So then you go out in public and you think everybody is looking at you, and maybe they are, maybe they aren't, whatever. But it's like you have to kind of like use psychological tools,
like navigate through that. And like that's what I say, everybody's experience is different, and everybody's like, trauma from it or lack thereof, this kind of thing. So did you find dating from dating apps, or was it just like a personal, like you got met somebody with your friends or?
Well, I wish I could just say it was organic and through my friends because I feel like that's such a great way to meet people. But for me, I just, kept putting myself on dating apps and trying to be super thorough about like kind of who I matched with and who I entertained to talk to and what my profile looked like. And just, I put myself out there, but I was still like careful and thoughtful about who I matched with. So I met both of my current partner and my ex on the Hinge app. I'm not promoting them, but they're a great app. I feel like they're legit. Like
and you never had an issue with like people thinking they were getting catfished because of who you are?
So like my profile that I put on there is like pretty mellow. Like I don't use any photos. I mean, I guess some of them are like they're candid ones that I'll post on Instagram, but I feel like they're not very recognizable. Like they're very much like
yeah, but you have a face that's beautiful that people are gonna know who you are. It's not like you look drastically different, even if you wore no makeup or not.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's like kind of one of those weird predicaments where I was like, listen, I live in the middle of nowhere. It feels like, and how am I gonna meet people? I feel like LA, people don't just come up to you to ask you out. And if they do ask you out, you might not want to go out with them.
I don't think in real life that happens. I think we're so conditioned to these fairy tales of like, that's how it is. And we're like, where is this man? And we're like, oh, we're watching the movie. We're not outside trying to live our life.
Exactly. So I genuinely felt like I was like, where am I going to meet my husband? Like, am I going to meet him on set? Maybe, but it hadn't happened.
Don't go that right, girl. I went that way. Do not do it. No.
Yeah, no. So basically, I just genuinely felt like there was nothing else I could do. And to do it, and yes, I have like fear of meeting somebody and them being, awkward and weird. And that's why I said I was like pretty thoughtful about the people I matched with. So my baby daddy is an artist himself. I consider myself an artist, so I kind of felt like, okay.
Does his profile say looking to be a baby daddy?
No, looking to be your baby daddy.
And yours said looking for my baby daddy.
That would have been perfect.
Instant match.
Instant match. No, but I figured I was like, okay, this guy, he does art. He lives in LA. I don't know. I feel like he's gonna probably treat me like an artist.
You just had a good feeling about it.
Had a good vibe about him. And then on our very first date, my job got brought up only because we had a mutual friend. His friend
is
a female who owns some company that like sells products basically from
like vibrators, lube. What are we talking about?
No, basically she'll sell like lingerie.
Flashlights, you can buy my flashlight.
Lingerie from set. So she'll be like, give me your lingerie from set, and then she'll like sell it to fans.
That's weird.
It is weird, and I had only talked to
I
her a couple times.
I can understand a performer doing that.
That's weird.
That is. I mean,
I agree.
No cap. I'm just saying,
it's peculiar.
If you did it and sold your lingerie all day, I understand it. But who are these people that go to set and say, hey, everybody, for half the 50% off, I will give you what you paid for those? Like, no, you're being scammed, man. I mean, I'm guessing it's a lucrative business, but, entrepreneurship at its finest.
Right. I mean, I don't think this is her main job. I think this is a side hustle.
Well, no, it shouldn't be her main job. If that's her main job, I'm sorry. You can no.
It's a side hustle.
Everyone has one, but I just hate that people try to like nickel and dime. Like that's my lingerie. I'll sell it if I want to. Why are you fucking taking people's things?
I mean, right, you know how much work it is to freaking list stuff and to
go to set, girlfriend. That's a bit much.
She like hits you up on Instagram, and
that's like, a whole different story.
Like I'll pick up a box of your stuff, and then she'll sell it.
Was that how big your box was, Tasha? You were like, my box.
Honestly, I feel like I'm bad at like preserving.
Where is she at? I have a whole upstairs. If she got tubs of things, where is she at? Now I'm thinking about this 50-50, or what is the split? 60-40? What's going on? Call me.
I think it's like 30,
no, you're watching.
30-70.
Sorry about the comment earlier. Let's talk about this.
I'll forward you her info after this.
All right, so y'all had a mutual friend. So when he said the name, because he obviously probably brought her up, are you like, oh, I know her? Like,
no, I barely knew this person.
Or was he like, hey, we have a mutual friend, and I know you're Tasha Reign. Like, because you don't go, like, you go by your personal name. You know?
Right. No.
Excuse me, are you Tasha Reign?
He was like, I was asking about his art, which is like, you know, a cool conversation starter. And then he was like, yeah, like, I actually like saw your photo on my friend's Instagram feed.
Did
like
you
earlier.
immediately like, fuck, which one? You're like,
yeah.
What was I doing? What was I holding? What was I wearing?
100%. I was like, well, okay, it's Instagram, so at least it's safe for work. But also, like, was it a good photo of me? What is he talking about? And then it like,
oh, we're so different. You're like, did my hair look great?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, did I look pretty? Like, oh my gosh. So when I put the clues together, because like I said, I barely knew this person.
Was he teasing around the fact that he knew who you were?
No, he's being straight up. Like, I think he didn't know when he matched with me, but that he had just gone on his Instagram feed and saw like a picture of me posing in some panties that she's selling of mine. And like, he connected the dots, and he didn't seem like thrilled about it, but he didn't seem like pissed. He was kind of like,
he still showed up for the date.
He showed up for the date.
He was open-minded. I like it. Okay, baby daddy.
Open-minded, but also like
skeptical.
100%. I felt
valid
that.
Though, but I mean,
yeah,
because a lot of, and I only say this for this, and again, it's a big. I hate labels, whatever it is, but a lot of people. When I have conversations, they're like, oh my God, you're so normal. Or, oh my God. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like, I hate that. Is there some kind of like test or whatever? Like, no, like I just like to have sex. I wanted to do porn. It was a safe place. That's what it is. But then you look at some other people or you hear stories, and then I'm like, okay, I can understand. Or if you know who like people they hang around or like know things, you're like, yeah, I can understand why you think we're all like that. But you know, I'm actually pretty smart, and I went to college, and hey, I've got a brain, and hey, I've got a podcast that I talk about things about all the time. But in theory, most people at that time, they're kind of fishing for like, what spectrum of it are you still in? You've also been in the industry for a long time. Like, where do I fit in this, you know, and where your head's at? So I respect that.
Well, I just want to say that, like, I genuinely feel like it is a misogynistic thing, because before I got into porn, I went on a date with Scott Nails, the performer.
Before even being in porn.
I was 20, and
how did you meet him? On Hinge?
Beauty? Scott's not on Hinge. Okay, I'm gonna speak for Scott.
Where did your friend hook you up with this date?
I'm dead. Oh my God, this is so good. Okay, so
fucking Scott Nails. I haven't heard that name in forever.
He was hot 10 years ago, dude.
I mean, is he not anymore? I don't know what he looks like. Oh, okay. That side.
No, I'm just kidding. But I haven't seen him recently, just on the gram.
I want the truth.
You want the truth, Tasha.
Okay, here's the truth. I just want to finish this comment. So I
went on a date with Scott Nails.
No, I was not always as open-minded as I am now. And when I went on a date with Scott, I wasn't thinking, oh, is Scott smart? Oh, is Scott normal? I was like, Scott's hot. I want to fuck Scott.
Did you know Scott was a porn performer when you were on that date?
Hell yes, I did. And so that's why I'm saying I feel like
dirty
it's
girl.
such a
now
gender issue.
Now I know why you went on that date. And now you joined porn after. Did Scott help you get into porn?
Scott tried to get me out of trying to get into porn.
That pussy was that good. He was like, don't do it.
No.
Run.
Before we even hooked up.
Why? Was he hating?
So I had modeled for Playboy, and the makeup artist on set overheard me saying, I'm thinking of getting into like more hardcore stuff. And she was like, okay, I'm going to take you to a set and see if you really want to do it and introduce you to Robbie D. I was like, oh,
R.I.P.
Okay, R.I.P. And at the time I was like, all right. So she took me to a digital playground set where Scott Nails was banging Selena Rose in the room.
How'd you go on the date at this time?
No.
Okay.
So I'm on the set and I'm looking around. I'm like, this seems legit.
Now, when you went on set, did they just say you were just going to watch, or were you going to participate? Or what were you going for? Was it like a field trip on a porn? Like,
she was like trying to bring new talent to Robbie D because she knew I wanted to do it. Out. I think she genuinely felt like Digital Playground.
What's her name? Red Rose.
No. She felt like Digital Playground was like probably out of all the companies, like
company for
one of the legitimate ones. So she was like, let me take you here.
Yeah.
So you don't end up doing something maybe that you don't want to do. And so she's trying to introduce me, and Robbie D was like, yeah, we'll put you in a movie tomorrow. Go get tested now. But
cheerleaders, let's go.
Something. Yeah. But I was like, I had questions, you know, like I wanted more info, and I also wanted more from it, not just like, oh, you'll throw me in a movie.
What were your questions that you wanted to know?
Well, I wanted like straight off the bat, I wanted some sort of like a contract, a deal, something. I didn't want to just do a random movie.
Okay.
And I mean, I did want to see like what actually happened on a set. That's why she brought me there.
So did you when you saw Scott fuck? What were you?
Scott fuck, just like from the corner. I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't in the room.
Sure, Tasha.
You're like,
I can be your fluffer, Scott. You don't know me, but I'm gonna fluff you. Don't worry, my time. Okay, so you saw from the corner of the room. You liked what you saw.
I liked what I saw. It seemed like what I had seen
and they do,
TV.
and they do a very good job of like, you know, making the woman like glamorous and doing a scene thing where it's like it's very like a movie with sex.
It just looked like a movie set, and I had been watching porn, so I was like, it looks just like, I mean, I recognize Scott. It looks like the movies that I see. So
let me find out. You went and search Scott out. You're like, where can Scott Nails be? Did you start dating Scott Nails after this?
He got my phone number, of course.
The plot does thicken.
Yes.
Private talk.
And he took me out to the geisha house.
Romantic.
And he was like, don't do this. Do not ruin your life. Do not do this.
How rude, Scott.
How horrible. I know. It's hard to even say it, but it's the truth.
Don't do this.
I know, like a savior of some. And I don't even think he was trying to bang. I think he literally.
But why? Okay.
What's his motive?
Okay,
exactly.
right.
Me too. What?
Was he saying it with like a reason behind it and not just saying don't do it? So what was his reason behind it? Not only because you're going to ruin your life. How am I? Because for me, and you're asking questions already. How are my life's going to be ruined?
100% was my first question, and he was like, "You don't understand, like society."
I love the side.
Society's going to shame you. I'm like, and of course at 20, you're like, or 21, I'm like, oh, who cares? You know, it's just like, I don't care what other people think of me. And he was like, you have no idea, like it has some severe consequences. This will follow you for the rest of your life. And then he told me this anecdote about somebody he knew very well, a female, that like people wrote things all over her establishment that she opened later on in life. Just tried to really scare me out of it. And I almost feel like maybe it was him feeling like he was doing something good. I don't really know what his real intention was, but it certainly didn't make me not want to do porn.
It made you want to do it more?
It made me think about it. And also I think after that, I was like, I want to date this guy. So maybe I won't do it so that he'll still date me. Like I have no idea what I took a pause. I didn't go and get tested that night. You know, we went on a couple dates. We hooked up a couple times. I was like, I like this guy.
I like your sex talk.
Yeah. And then Scott, I mean, he's
voice.
a player. So he played me. He wasn't like trying to
but
take
how
it
did
much
he play,
farther.
But how did he play you? Because I have like, so did he try to like say or in hopes for you to be like his girl or whatever?
No.
Or was it just a fucking thing? Because I don't think that's being played, but that's just being, you know what I mean?
You're
like,
right. That's not the right word. I think it's more of like I had high hopes for the situation.
You had expectations and
Yes.
he was like, hey, I'm moving on to the next new girl who's just turned 18 and that maybe is wrong to say too. Maybe,
right. Well, we went on,
she's 20
we went on dates.
Okay.
And
so
we
it was a little
hooked
more.
up.
Yeah.
He was not my boyfriend. I don't even know if I walked in the room if he would recognize me. That is like how minimal I think the relationship to him was. But we went on dates and we hooked up and then he just kind of ghosted.
Yes.
Which is like fine. That's what people sometimes do.
No, that's not fine. I think okay,
common.
maybe
It's common.
It is common.
Yes.
I think maybe at the time frame too, it wasn't as talked about because people were just like, oh, what do you do? I mean, he's gone. And then I feel like social media, like other places where you couldn't really find them or, you know, things like that wasn't as accessible as we are now to those things.
Yes.
But I feel like now it's like, I feel like in my personal thing, because I've been ghosted and things, and I'm just like, just be a man. Like, just tell me what it is.
You've been ghosted? Who the fuck is ghosting?
You know, it's hilarious.
Alexis,
you know,
Texas.
it's really hilarious. So, like, a long time ago, no, I'm not going to say it like that, but I got to think about my words. So, a long time ago, I tried to date this person. I went out the box, and I was like, okay, let me try it. So this person didn't live in town, whatever. So he came in town for something, whatever. I went and saw him at an event, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The next day we were supposed to go and meet with he was staying, I think, in Santa Monica. He was supposed to Uber to us and we were going to go bowling. He was on his way, never came. So I'm calling him and I'm like, my friends were like waiting. So that we just ended up going, whatever. So I was like, that's really fucked up. Like, why, like, where did you go? Then later that night, like he was like, oh, like I didn't realize that I didn't have, like I saw how much the Uber was. I didn't have that much money. So I didn't want to be embarrassed. So I just whatever. And I didn't talk to you. I'm like, oh, okay. He blocked me, wouldn't talk to me because of his problem. He couldn't just be like honest with me because at the time I'm like, I don't care. Like as long as you're honest, I'm like, I'll go pick you up. Whatever the case may be, I probably wouldn't have picked him up. But, if you're at least being honest enough to share or whatever. But he just didn't think it was genuine. My thing is like, why wouldn't you just be honest and let me have the like option to say if I wanted to do that or been like, okay, you're right. Maybe next time when you come in, your situation's better. But at least be an adult. If you want to have a situation, you want to try to fuck someone, but you can't have a communicate until you're just being honest with someone, that's an issue with me. So I feel like, and then you ghost because you can't be man enough to own up to it. Bye. You saved me the damage of what that would be. But I just feel like a lot of people do that because it's their own insecurities. And sometimes when you find things wrong, you look in your own mirror and you're like, it's things that you emulate that you may not like yourself. Yeah. So it's like, and make like addressing that. It's because like I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. And I have done that before in the past me that too. I'm just like, hey, I gotta own my own shit sometimes. Like, so it's like, maybe I should just answer it and say, not gaslight the situation. Just be like, hey, you know what? I'm busy. Or, I don't think, this is going to work
I'm not
out.
interested.
Yeah. Like, it's a struggle. I feel like because dating, especially regardless of what you do, I feel like it's difficult already is because there's a lot of people in the world that don't really want to do the work and show up for themselves. So they just get in these like half relationships and then like take the trauma out on each other. And it's just not fun for anybody.
Yeah. You're right.
Fun.
Good analysis of the ghosting world.
This is like Dr. Texas with no PhD. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like back in the day, it was Dr. Ruth. But I'm Dr. Texas. We talk about things here on this private talk couch. Private talk after dark. We get a little crazy. A little wild. You never know what's going to happen. Miss Tasha Reign. So are you enjoying, your time being a new mommy to be?
I am loving it. I'm also obsessed with the fact that I'm finally bumping and I have like this little pot belly because up until just like a couple weeks ago, people just looked at me like, oh, she ate a lot. Like, not like, oh, she's pregnant.
Like, I'm not fat. I promise you guys.
I know. It's such like
enjoy it while you can. Like you said, now before you know it's your 6 months and it's all those fun things.
Yeah.
So what are your plans for what's next after the baby? Are you going to still be shooting scenes? Are you doing your own website stuff? Do you even know yet? Have you thought about any of your plans for what's next?
So it's kind of like top secret, but I am working on my book and it is due pretty soon. So
awesome.
that's like where my energy should be for the next, month and a half.
No, not should be, will be.
Yes. That is where my energy is.
There you go.
And so that's like the project I'm most looking forward to. And I feel like it's very therapeutic as well, just to like put everything down.
Is it just about your
paper.
life? Is it about your time in your career? Like what is it?
It's a memoir. Okay. Yeah. So it's like my whole life. And, it's pretty entertaining and also like triggering because you're writing and you're like, oh my God, I didn't even remember this until I had to think about it,
Yeah.
So that's where my energy is right now. And I'm open to continuing my OnlyFans and writing after becoming a mom. But I definitely feel, like my big boy girl scenes are kind of a thing of the past since my current partner and I are, pretty monogamous.
So y'all are official. Y'all are doing this together.
Yeah, we are. We're official. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought too much about the career in the future. I've really been thinking about just being a mom. Mostly. Yeah.
Good for you. I feel like, this is like you said, soak up the time while you can. You're a very smart lady. You have done so many great things. I'm very proud of you and where you are in, your career, how much of an advocate you are and stand just your ground and who you want to be. And I feel like, when things come in, they happen for a reason. If it's the book, whatever you have coming next, I definitely think, in timing is all the greatest part that you can have. So just take your time and enjoy it all.
Thank you.
Enjoy it all. So what do you think is the best advice you've ever gotten?
Oh my gosh, that's such a serious question. The best advice I've ever gotten.
Maybe this for a while?
Yeah.
You can blame it on like the pregnancy, when they say pregnancy brain.
Oh my gosh, I think it's real. I truly believe it's real. Okay, I don't know if this is advice or if it's a statement, but
well, give it to
I feel
us.
like I've taken it as advice, is the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything.
Okay.
And I feel like it's important for me because oftentimes, like, I'll rush through stuff. I won't take the time to be thoughtful about making choices and committing to things. So now, because I have that bit of advice, I'm like, no, you've got to do everything really thoughtfully, whatever it is, so that, you know, you're always in a situation that you're like, I want to be here right now.
That's awesome. And I mean, I definitely, you know, I think you're very thoughtful. You brought me flowers. No guest has brought me flowers, and I love flowers, so I appreciate that. So I feel like things when it's done selflessly, I think that that's what's showing up and exactly what you just said means. Like, you know what I mean? You're doing it because you want to do it. And I think that is very a thoughtful thing. So you said earlier you're talking about you did some shoots for Playboy. You've mentioned before in the past that you used to go to Playboy mansion parties. A whole documentary is coming out about the Playboy mansion. What are your thoughts on, or have you even watched any of those?
Have you watched it?
I have. I've watched 2 episodes.
Stop. Is it so alarming? Be honest.
You know, okay, so I never went to parties at the Playboy Mansion. I hosted a party, I think towards the end of my like adult career, but it was like kind of like after everything, kind of the heyday of the drugs and this and all of these whatever, like no camera phone, you know, all those kind of lifestyle. So I don't think I really saw anything other than like it was a dinner, it was like a spot, like it was a charity type event type thing, you know.
Got it.
So but you know, you're always curious and just like everybody's why, you know, everyone's like on the edge of your seat, like, oh, what is going on? But you assume a lot of things, and then being in the adult industry and being around those things, you know, that adult world. You know that it's like there's possibilities and capabilities of those things happening, but you don't realize it until you're either a victim of or put in those scenarios where like, you know, that person's not lying. And in these scenarios, you know what I mean? And what was portrayed, I believe it. And you know what I mean? Everybody's interaction, and even like with porn, my career and your career, very different. My performers that I may get along with and you get along with, different. All because we're uniquely different. The same thing with Playboy, you know what I mean? Like each girl is different. They're there in a sense, they look similar, but everyone has their own personalities, this, that, and the other. And a lot of the people that have been on the documentary of late, it was people that had either been girlfriends. So you know that they've seen more things, and then they're like, oh, the scorned woman. But there's only much that a woman could be scorned when there's other people around validating her story. You know what I mean?
Oh
and being like, it's just that.
Wait, that's such a good name for a book. This scorned woman. Oh my gosh.
I'm surprised it's probably not already out there, but there's so many.
But that's so good.
But you know, and that's why. So I feel like the stereotype of like America, like, oh, well, what'd she do? Like, it's not always like the man's fault, kind of thing. But it just kind of really put a picture of, I think, a different different picture of Hef. From my point of view, even is because until those things are talked about openly, nobody can even think that a person could be like that. So, but when you hear it, then you sometimes are like, okay, well, that's kind of believable. Or, okay, this may not be, or over embellished, or this, that, or whatever, you know what I mean? And, you know, for its own thing. But, I mean, not for nothing, like there's live evidence, like any only person like can have it, and plus he's not around anymore. But everything, apparently there was video cameras for everything. And he did it based on the fact to have things on people. So when he'd have when people, like, actors and, you know, all these politicians, all these people who were partying in his house, well, like, okay, well, if something happened, hey, I need you to fix this favor because hey, you're these these bunnies over here, and y'all are doing coke in the bathroom or whatever that is. They don't specify.
Collateral.
Pretty much. And they paint him a picture like that, like that he did all these things to fool the world because that's how he had his power and that's how he whatever. And again, at that time, nobody really had polygamy, like polyamorous relationship. So he glorified it, but he never also strayed away from it. He's like, I have these girlfriends. I like women. He made a whole business of it. So the way they broke it down was a different light. Again, it's based off other people's, you know, things. It tells you like, you know, the new Playboy doesn't, you know, support any of that. They listen to all women, and, you know, they don't think it's all allegations. No charges have been brought up. And then the second episode was Holly Madison talking about her encounter and then discussing like the book and like everything she did and how Hef was upset about it and like that thing. And for me, like even with someone like her, why would she lie about all that? You know what I mean? And so it's just like a dark picture of what everyone thought was so glamorous of those times. So how do you feel about it? You haven't watched it yet. Do you plan on it, or do you kind of want to stay in your bubble of my Playboy time was this? Because, you know, some people do that as well. You know, sometimes, like we said earlier, once you hear it and see it, you can't unsee it. So it's like puts something a damper on it.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack because I feel like I got into entertainment in general because of Playboy. I felt like it was like the most kind of normalized way to go into porn. I mean, even when I was, you know, friends with Hef, he never thought of himself as like a pornographer or Playboy even being really porn related. But coming from like a really conservative town in Orange County, I saw The Girls Next Door on television and I was just like, oh my gosh, that looks so dreamy. Baby animals, hot girls everywhere. I could model.
But it's also Hollywood. This is a show. You see how production is now from being on the other side. So you know what I mean? Like,
I had no idea. I was just like 17, 16 years old thinking like, this is the coolest thing I have ever seen. Why I thought that was cool, that's like a whole other thing.
But I mean, like we said earlier, it's glorified to make women look beautiful and like
so
these,
pretty.
You know, this whole like they're
like a
smart.
fairy tale.
They're not just these dumb girls. Like it's this whole lifestyle. You know, that it's easy to fall into that facade of what you would want to do if you want like the attention and the pictures, and especially from being in a town in California.
Oh yeah, I was so into it that I was like, I'm gonna manifest that. Next thing I know, I'm up in LA and I am like being introduced to Hef, and then I'm invited to spend every weekend there with Hef, and this is like my sorority and all these girls are my friends. And meanwhile, this is like towards the end of his life where he was so old already that he couldn't do whatever he was up to on this documentary because he could barely walk.
They would say like when they were going out in Hollywood, they'd have come home every night that they went out. They were expected to have sex. They'd all go in the room and have sex with him, and they'd have like they would just go off of each other and like basically. It was a big orgy.
Yeah. Okay. So
it was all, everything that was done was all documented, and they were all fucked up on drugs. They were all and everything because there was something, but there was always cameras on.
Yeah. No, and I totally believe it. It's just that in 2009, 2010. He just like wasn't, it was right at like the end of that because of his age.
Was he being a cuckold and just making them do things?
He was literally decrepit, like not in a mean way. Like he was aging and he wasn't doing well. And he was like, it was hard for him kind of just to even like be mobile and stuff. And so I'm not saying that sexy time didn't happen with other women upstairs in his room, but he himself was probably more of a voyeur because he was so elderly, and so it wasn't really like, yes, there were parties. Midsummer's Night still happened. I was a painted girl. It was so much fun. Like it was still alive, but it just wasn't like at all the height of Playboy, which I think is where all of like this drama and negative stuff really happened because he was just like more lively.
Yes and no, but even like with Holly's, testimony of her doing that, that was still towards the later part
he
of
was
those
older
things,
then
too. And it was more darker on the side of like the control.
He was very controlling.
Like, there was curfews, there was things she wouldn't do, there was like all these, things like that but it stemmed from, that was for like the majority, but then there was other rules for other people.
100%. And so I got kicked out by him because of his control issues. Mm-hmm. So basically what happened was I was up there all the time, and I definitely was on the edge of deciding, like, should I ask to be a girlfriend? Because you just literally asked to be a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Or should I really just kind of not do that and just try to model? Because that is like what I actually wanted to be doing. And I had modeled for Playboy like a couple of times, but I really wanted to be a playmate. It was like my absolute dream. Like that is literally all I wanted. And so I asked him, can I be a playmate? And he was like, I'll set up a playmate test for you with Arnie Freytag, who's like their main photographer down at Playboy Studios West in Santa Monica. So I got tested and I was like so happy. It was like literally the best day of my life. I was so excited. And I feel like I wasn't as grateful probably to him as I should have been. Like I should have been I should have acknowledged more that like he obviously made that happen because I asked him to. But then I got a phone call shortly after that was like, Hef looked over your pictures and he actually just wants to use it as a cyber girl pictorial. And I was devastated. Like, my heart was literally broken. I felt like, gosh, I've invested so much time up here. But meanwhile, at the time, he was definitely not in the habit of making girlfriends or even just girls that hung out at the mansion, playmates, because he didn't want to lose the control of having them come up there just for fun in the sun and just to hang out, because kind of it had been a pattern. Like, once girls got playmate, then they just left because they kind of got what they wanted. Mm-hmm. And so I was devastated, but I was like, sure, fine, use the pictures for that pictorial because otherwise they're just going to go to waste. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm doing porn. So then I went and I figured out, okay, this is how I'm going to get into porn through an agent, and this is what I'm going to do. And I just continued to kind of live my life and go up there on the weekends. And I just remember the last time I went up there, all of the girls were like gossiping. And I felt also like ashamed because I knew in my heart that if Hef knew that I was doing porn, that he wouldn't want me there on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. And it was just like this taboo thing. He didn't want you being naked for anybody else but him, which is like part of the control. And then I got a letter in the mail from him that was like, I've seen what you've done, and that once you do porn, you are no longer welcome here at the mansion. And I was just so beyond upset. So I wrote him back and I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, which isn't really the truth. And then I'm like, so sorry that I really love my family up there, because it really felt like family. It's kind of the only people I knew in LA. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you know the rules, and you've been taken off the list and you're no longer welcome here. And then years later, I finally did get closure in knowing that his girlfriend at the time, who's now his widow, Crystal, who, was his wife when he died, she found out that I started doing porn, and then he had asked the staff to gather my videos so that he could watch them. And then she was very upset by that and disgusted and threw a big fit about it and basically made him kick me out. So it just gave me a little closure. It was like, oh, okay.
Wasn't him directly.
Wasn't him directly. And I kind of understand now more how it went down, because it was just a really hard time in my life, which now it seems a little bit silly, but at the time it was a
major thing,
earth shattering.
So did Hef ever make sexual advances towards you? Did you have sexy time with Hef?
So no, I never had sexy time with Hef. If I did, I would totally own it. I think this is part of his manipulation. He was really good at having women come to him. Women asked him if they could have sexy time with him, and he would approve it, sure, not with a guarantee of what would come from it. Mm-hmm. But he had plenty of women that were readily writing him letters, or even just up at the house asking, hey, can I come to the bedroom after movie night?
Which everybody knew what that meant.
And not everybody, but I think if you dug enough, you could figure out how to become a girlfriend.
You're going to a bedroom at late at night hours. You're not just going to have popcorn. I'm just saying for them to just say, you know what I mean?
I think some people might have not known that it was so
intense.
I don't want to say easy. No, I mean, you could, once you're up at the house and you're invited as a regular girl guest, asking to come up to the bedroom is something that is a very, almost
common
a simple ask. People, I don't think they knew how common or easy it was. I think they felt like that would be a weird question, but if you found out that you could just ask that, maybe you could have the chance of being a girlfriend. I don't think everybody knew that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they kind of maybe were a little shy until they knew, maybe caught on and was like, okay, and now it's my turn to ask, kind of thing.
Yes, right. So he had
picking
enough,
order.
Exactly. He had enough people.
Well, that was also in the documentary too, is he would plot or pinpoint girls against each other, so he would have the control of not everybody being a solidarity without him attached to it.
100%. Or just he had my photo up in his room and his, wife, but at the time,
but you never saw what his dick looked like.
Never saw his dick. but he liked that kind of like.
Did they talk? Anybody in the
control.
house talk about it? Was it big? Was it small?
Literally, nobody talked about it because I think there was a shame in the fact that
Everybody did it.
Whoever was having sex with him was having sex with him. That's like a shame thing. So they weren't like, oh, his cock looks like this. They're like, oh, I never hooked up with him. You know,
Lie till the end. Lie.
Lie till you die.
Private talk. We don't lie. I appreciate you being honest. We're gonna take a little bit of a break and then get to my favorite part, Truth with Texas. I hope you're ready. It's a little fun game, but we'll get to know you a little bit more intimately. All right, Private Talk After Dark, we are back, and we have Tasha Reign still on the couch. Are you excited for Truth with Texas?
I'm so excited.
Do you know what you're even into? You know, it's always a game when Miss Texas is around. So we're going to go through all of the cards. Each is an ace. Each different suit is a different type of question. So what is your first card? Beep. Ace of?
Hearts. Wait.
How did I
know?
know?
Spades?
Is it black or red?
It's black.
It's a spade, I'm sure.
Oh
you can
my
show it
gosh.
to me. This isn't poker, Tasha. You can show me the card. All right, spade.
I'm shooketh. Okay, everybody
So
forget that moment. Thank you.
That's our favorite here at Private Talk because it's a naughty question. Even though we're all a little naughty, we're going to find out if you're really naughty. Okay. What's your biggest turn off?
Oh my gosh. Bad hygiene.
Like everything, like teeth, smelling, like what?
Everything, just the bad smells, the
bad smells that elude out of
what?
the bad smells that elude out of a man.
Yeah, I want people to be clean, shaven. Doesn't mean that you have to like shave everything. If
Have
you're
you ever
a lady.
had a bad experience?
I mean, hell yeah, yeah.
Not a yeah, just a hell yeah.
Many people don't know about hygiene, and so that can be unfortunate on set.
Of these many people, what was the one time that stuck out your head the most that was a bad hygiene problem?
I mean, multiple times where I have been asked to give a blowjob on camera, and that person did not prep their penis well, and you know, it has just fucking been jarring. It's happened more than once. Okay. I'm not even afraid to name a name. Do
it.
I want the truth.
Whose dick was jarring that he did not get set ready?
Nacho Vidal.
Okay.
One of the scariest moments of my life.
Why? Because of what his dick looked like? Okay, but okay,
no.
Wait, hold on. Wait, pause. Just because of him?
Because he threw a remote control at the wall behind my head, and I was scared for my life. After I said, "Go, baby, wipe your fucking dick."
Okay.
Oh my God! Thank God I got that out.
Thank you. You should never hold anything. You know.
Well, I just never told anybody that.
I'm glad that you shared here with Private Talk because we like to hear these new things. But let's talk about this. Let's break it down.
Okay.
So, for those people out there for Private After Dark, what is for a man? What does that prepping your dick mean? Like, what does that mean? And what was on his dick? And why? Like,
so many questions, right?
I fucked Nacho before too, and I made him tap out. His dick was nothing was wrong with it, but I mean, each day is different. Each
day is different. Each person, like you said earlier, has a different relationship with whoever they're on set.
Okay, let's get back to the dick that was not wiped. Get back to business. Okay.
I'm telling you, there was a smell that smelled like poop coming from his penis.
I forget because it's been a long time since I fucked him. Is he circumcised or not?
I'm going to assume not, but I have absolutely no idea. It was that long ago.
Because that's why I'm like, I
no
idea.
Remember.
So like a man who would be uncircumcised, I feel like has more of a job to clean up before
100%.
set because there's foreskin involved. And whatever you chose to do with your woman or whoever you're fucking in that morning, and then you chose to go to set, clean your business. So I get it on that. But was it something like that situation? Or like did he pull it back and you're like, I'm not putting that in my mouth, homie?
I love an uncircumcised penis because I feel like there's just more cushion for the pushing. I just prefer
your asshole?
it.
Yes.
I just prefer it. I know. Okay. I just like it. I think it's like a natural thing.
I mean, I married one, you know, I threw it away after a while.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's my preference. So no hate on the uncircumcised. We don't even know at this point if Nacho is circumcised or uncircumcised.
I'm sure in the comments somewhere below,
somebody will do this research. Okay.
Because I really don't. That's kind of sad that we both have fucked him and we don't know. Or did you even fuck him at all? Because it is
no, I didn't. I
did. I made him tap out. That was my greatest accomplishment. Okay, back to the dirty dick.
He's a legend. I'm not taking that away from him. He's a freaking legend. People talk about this guy.
But again, each encounter is different.
All I know.
And honestly, okay, yeah, I still have a lot of questions. I can't let you finish your story. I'm sorry.
I know. Ask him.
But it's like, were you, like, how did you say, because for me too, it's like what you have said, like your words may not be the problem, but it's your delivery. We're like, hey, like what you're like, your dick is dirty. Or like what, how do you even address that he'd get that mad? Because I also feel like it's his responsibility that if I have to tell you as a performer, that's out of pocket because you should know your dick is dirty.
Okay, out of pocket is 100% the term I would use because this was for our own website.
I'll help your vocabulary. Out of pocket, you can steal that one from me.
Yeah. It was for our own websites and he pulled down his pants and I literally
I don't know why that sounds
got like a whiff of it. Like I was like, oh my God. No, you need to, well, first of all, I don't think my reaction was like that, but in my mind, I was like, what the fuck? I was just like, can you please go baby wipe your dick, please? So even though I can be nice, I'm sure that it would have been offensive to a lot of people. And so like, it's not that I have no empathy. I get it. That must have been a hard hit for his ego. But his reaction was just like shooketh, pissed. He took that remote, he chucked it at the back wall.
Where does the remote even come from at this point?
We were at our director's house in his bedroom and there was like a TV and the remote was, I guess, nearby. And it was so, I just honestly haven't had a lot of violent experiences with male talent.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're oftentimes kind of quiet.
Did he throw it at you or you just threw it in the room?
At the back of like that my head where the wall would be. So I don't think it was at me. I think it was purposely to scare the shit out of me. Scared, of I was scared for my life because he's such a big guy and he's so just like full of testosterone. I mean, he has like this, you know, presence and aura about him that obviously a lot of people do like. And I was just like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? And he just like, the director was like, okay, all right. And then I went in the bathroom, which is like an open floor plan. So it's like a connected bathroom to the bedroom. And then he disappeared downstairs and he like messaged me later that day and was like, don't tell anybody this happened. And I was like, okay. And that was like
private talk.
10 years ago.
Yeah. And
now we're here and we're chatting and I'm not scared of you anymore, Nacho, because honestly, where is he even?
Nacho,
but yeah.
No.
So hygiene.
I'm glad that you shared that. But I also think though too is like a lot of people think that porn is so glorious sometimes, where sometimes you have these encounters happen. I had an encounter happen where I didn't have a remote thrown, but the guy was very offended when I was like, I'm not putting that in my mouth. I stopped the scene, or I didn't even start the scene, but it was supposed to obviously romantic, you know, porno time. You do your tease, then you're gonna go do a blowjob, whatever. So I'm on my knees. Visual is private talk. Here we are. I'm on my knees. And this was a digital playground set too. And I look up, I go to take pictures and I pull his dick back and he's got things on it. And I'm like, I gotta go pee. I'm like, I gotta pee. I'm like, you gotta stop. So I go and I'm like, I don't know who the like whatever assistant person was there. And I was like, I'm not doing this scene. I'm like, someone needs to go out here and tell him that he's got something on his dick and I'm not doing it. And they went and told him. I wasn't in the room, but then he's like, there's nothing wrong. This has been here my whole life. I said, well, then you've been something wrong with your whole life. Like, I don't know what to tell you because that's not normal. Like, I know that he tried to say it was a skin tag. No, I mean, it was not. It was a lot of them, and that's not how it's supposed to look. So at that point, again, was it uncomfortable? 1,010%. But if I wouldn't have spoke up for myself, because it's my body, my right, then I would have, what am I supposed to do? Fuck him and then have something wrong with me and like, because I didn't want to say no. So, and then after that, working with him was not an option because he was already embarrassed because of whatever happened. So then it just becomes awkward when you see each other at parties like, yeah, bye, gotta go. I don't know what you want me to say to you. But, you know, that's unfortunate. And I've had girls too, or like when, especially like early on, or what is it called? Like the girls who start in the beginning, they didn't know like how to take care of themselves. I'm like, this is your best friend. You should know everything from smell to look to appearance, like everything. You know what I mean? So it's like, you should probably kind of go look at yourself before you go and do pretty girls or do whatever. Again, uncomfortable situations with us as sex workers, that's our right. And it should be like, again, advocating for what's right. And not just because, like your test says you're clear. Like, no, like if you know what I mean? Like, no, my pussy, my right. And I made the only persons that I've ever that could say that they dislike me in the industry are all people who have been on my no list, or all people that I like that I don't work with, is because those are only people that could say anything bad about me, because I've never done anything to anybody other than not want to work with you. And again, it's my choice. It's not because I don't like you as a person, but I don't like your dick or vagina around me. So no, thank you. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Spit or swallow?
Sorry.
What time of day?
It's a spit.
It's a spit for me.
It's a spit for me.
Have you ever made a woman squirt?
I can't say that I have.
Have you ever squirted?
I have.
What's your craziest booty call story?
Oh my gosh. Let me just think on that.
Did Hinge give you any booty stories, or just all relationships? As they say,
Is a booty call like a continuous? That's not the same as a one night stand. A booty call is like somebody you continuously bang.
Yeah, like they called you over just for sex, and like.
Oh yes. I had a booty call.
Did you have a crazy? Was it any crazy like stories that happened with the booty call, or was it just like late night sex, normal stuff?
I'm afraid it's just late night sex, normal stuff.
He didn't ask for like a girlfriend to come over with you or anything crazy?
No, I don't have like a real life wild booty call story.
That's fine.
Just like consistent booty calls.
Let's see. Does size matter?
Yes, size does matter.
What size is the right one for you, Tasha Reign?
My man's penis.
I was you're gonna say my baby daddy.
Yeah, but just in general, I don't feel like I'm a huge size queen. Like, definitely, I feel like porn
you just
has
need
affected
something there.
me. Yeah, I like a big dick, but it doesn't need to be the biggest in the world.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. Do you think that your baby daddy would feel comfortable at any time putting his dick on your OnlyFans?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Have y'all ever had that conversation, or do you just stray away from it?
I haven't had the conversation.
Well,
it looks like we're going to.
Hope you're listening, baby daddy. You know, I'm just throwing things out there. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You know, are you loud or quiet when you orgasm?
I am loud.
Oral sex, sloppy or clean?
Oh, like when I give it to somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm in the middle. Like, I'm not the sloppiest lady, but I'm also like drooling, so I'm not.
If you're wearing eyelashes, they're gonna stay on.
Yes. Yes. So,
you're not going deep. You're not diving deep. You're not.
Right.
You're not going all the way in.
Right.
Women or men?
Both.
Have you been in a relationship with a female?
I think I have.
How do you think you have? Is this where your ghosting came about?
No. I think, yeah, I think it was a relation. It was a relationship where we didn't put a title on it.
Is that what we're calling it these days?
Yeah.
Have you ever faked an orgasm?
Yes.
Have you ever worn leather or latex underwear?
Leather or latex underwear in a photo shoot or in real life?
Real life.
In real life, no.
Mile High Club, yes or no?
No. Oh my gosh, this is sounding so boring. Wish I was cooler. Sorry. Okay.
Have you ever tried asking a partner for a threesome?
Yes.
Did it work out successfully?
Yes, in that the threesome happened.
Did somebody's feelings get hurt?
Mine.
So no more threesomes for you.
I don't know. Maybe just like with more communication about my needs.
So what made you upset about that situation?
I just don't feel like he was like very attentive to me during the threesome.
Okay, so it wasn't all equal people doing stuff. It was more focused on other people.
Right. I feel like with on-set performances where I've had threesomes, I've just assumed like the guy just usually will just know that he needs to like pay attention to both of the girls. And so I just assumed my partner just knew that.
Yeah.
He did not.
No. Yeah, that's why he's not your partner anymore.
Yeah. Next card. This is so fun.
Ace of
Clovers.
Oh, we're gonna go with kinky question. Favorite time of day to have sex?
Evening.
All right, you're a night owl. Do you like bondage in your personal life?
Yes.
Do you have one of those dungeon rooms in that cottage of yours, Miss? I didn't see it.
I sure don't.
There's space for, in that one, like in the downstairs part where those
The
chickens
crawl
are.
space.
We like go down by the chickens and go to the right and to the left. You're gonna find a dungeon. You're gonna have all your sex men up there. Just your baby daddy for now. He's gonna be tied up. Foreplay or sex? Which do you prefer?
I mean, is sex part of like getting eaten out? That is sex, right?
That's foreplay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it oral sex?
True, but I would consider it
You would
foreplay.
okay.
Like even blowjob, and that stuff, kissing, like touching.
I'd like to get eaten out, so
you're about foreplay.
I'm just about that very specific part of.
Are you more horny now because you're pregnant, or are you still the same?
I feel like it comes in waves where I'm like way hornier than I've ever been, and then other times I'm just like, ugh, not feeling it.
Do you still have sex?
Yes, it is definitely. It is an abnormal feeling to have like this belly in front of you when you're having sex, and all the positions don't really like feel the same. It kind of like it's a little more painful almost, but I still do it.
Do you think that you orgasm better or more intense because you are pregnant?
I think you orgasm better when you're pregnant because there's like all this weight on you.
Okay, I could see that. Maybe you just
On
gotta
your
find the right
uterus or
position and
something.
be like, hey, we're only doing this one.
Exactly.
Like 1 to 2, you know what I mean?
Where I just like lay there and get eaten out.
What
That's my main position.
Well, that's not sex,
I know.
Your poor baby daddy. He needs something too.
No, I am giving penetrative sex.
Okay, you're not just giving blowjobs out.
I'm
How
not. No,
many
I'm
blowjobs?
rarely giving a blowjob to anyone.
Why are you getting regular blowjobs?
So much work, you know that. Back
I
hurts.
enjoy blowjobs. I feel like blowjobs for me turn me on more.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's facts.
I have heard a lot. I have heard women
Like,
say
I've
they
heard
get that. I've heard that from people.
I don't believe that shit, but no, for me, especially, I think the older I've gotten, like, not that I didn't like it before, but I feel like I like it more the last 5 years of my life.
Interesting.
But yeah, welcome to being 36. I don't. Okay. Let's see. Ever been caught masturbating by your baby daddy?
No.
Most number of times you've had sex in one day?
3?
Most number of times you've masturbated in one day?
5?
What type of porn turns you on?
Spanking porn.
Last dirty dream that you had? Do you have dirty dreams?
I have dirty dreams, and sometimes dreams are difficult to remember later on.
Do you have wet dreams?
I have had wet dreams before. I feel like it was some sort of a boy girl fantasy in my last naughty dream. I just can't remember who the boys were.
Not necessary.
Not necessary.
Have you ever pegged a man or been pegged yourself?
In movies, I have pegged men
Do you
and
have,
women.
Do you have any fetishes?
Yeah, I feel like I have a couple. Definitely the spanking thing is a fetish 100%, but more specifically, I feel like I do Google a lot of like weird.
Spit it out. I feel like I'm fishing right now. We're like, we're almost there.
Just like stepdad, dad porn. Like I know it sounds just so gross, but I guess it's like the most popular kind of
So
genre.
like stepdaddy porn.
Yeah, I do, and I don't know what that's about.
Is it just a recently, or if it's always been like a taboo? Because taboo stuff gets people off. Like, did you have a hot stepdaddy? Like what?
No, I don't think he was very hot, but I definitely have like probably been into this for a while, but just more in like the last 5 years, I feel like I've maybe admitted to myself, like, okay, this is clearly some sort of a fetish. And I haven't spent too much time like analyzing it, but I definitely will like look that up.
Do you think that you could actually come to being spanked?
Oh.
You're like, but I'm going to try tonight. Maybe Daddy, get your
Almost.
spanking hand out.
Almost. Yes. Very. I mean, I don't know if I would actually orgasm that way, but it's definitely like an easy thing to do to like get me there.
I like it. Stimulates you. Yeah. All right. Next card. Ace of
Diamonds.
Diamonds. Spicy question. Anal sex, love it or hate it?
There's nothing in between.
Nope. Love it or hate it?
Hate it.
Hate it.
That's a crazy answer.
Why? I mean,
Because sometimes I
can't be maybe in love with anal sex. You either like it or you don't.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I've had anal sex that
Who are you trying to lie to,
wasn't
Tasha?
as painful as other times.
But that doesn't mean you enjoyed it.
Wait, no, I do enjoy the orgasm when there's something in my asshole.
And your pussy? Double penetration?
It doesn't even need to be in my
But
vagina.
that's
Just like
anal.
on my clit, but there's something in my ass at that time.
Tasha, I hate to tell you this, but that's called anal. I know you've been an
know,
adult performer for a very long time, but I don't know if you know that category that Derek made us check off a long time ago. Anal means something is in your asshole.
I know, but I like the climax part of it. So once I'm
So you just like being, like, you can come from the anal penetration.
no, I need clitoral stimulation.
So you need a Hitachi on your pussy.
Right.
While someone's fucking you in the, or something, or someone
Something is in my butt.
Something is in
A
my butt.
dildo, a human, whatever it is in my butt. And that orgasm is like amazing. Like I love that. But I don't always like the buildup to that. The pain
just
of like
seem
getting that huge dick, that porn dick in there, or a human.
You seem
but-
so bored. You're like that
Oh.
fucking dick. Just shove it in my asshole.
Shove it up.
I mean, porn dick in your asshole is quite a big thing. I'm not going to take anything away from that because it's true.
Thank you.
And,
Thank
you know, even for me is why I didn't do a lot of anal in my porn career was because I have a big ass. So to even be seen back there, you need a really large member to be packing. And therefore, that means I have to take that really large cock in my ass. And it's not for everybody. I'm not an anal queen at all. I prefer just vaginal intercourse. Do I like to be played with here and there in my ass? Yeah, but I'm not a big, like, if we didn't do anal, I am not mad at it at all. All right, call it a day. Suck your dick all day. Even eat your ass, but, I'm not really sure about the anal thing for me. Celebrity hall pass. Do you have one?
Oh, I don't, but I can think of one right now.
Oh, let's do it.
Channing Tatum.
Oh, okay.
So hot.
He is hot. You definitely have sexually
Beautiful.
fantasized about him. I could see it in your eyes.
I mean, when I see his picture, I'm just immediately like,
Wet.
that is a pretty guy.
How many times did you go see Magic Mike?
Oh, I've seen it quite a bit.
Is that your go-to porn movie? That's what really is the parody's about. Best move in the bedroom. If you had one move that you could tell everybody that to brag about, what is that one move?
That I do to people?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Phone a friend, phone a baby daddy. Where is he at?
Is there anything?
Is there anything?
What am I up
There
to?
fucking better be something, Tasha.
There better be something.
Like, the funny thing is, they always say you gotta be careful for the quiet ones. Not that you're very quiet, but I feel like you're shy on certain things. And I'm like, bitch, who are you fooling? You did porn. You were in the fucking Playboy Mansion with Hef. You're like, I talked to him. I said I was so sorry. Bitch, you're not innocent. Who are you fooling? Not me.
Gosh, I really feel like it sounds conceited. It's just like,
Be conceited.
just my vagina is an honor.
Pussy power. You got that wet.
I got a great pussy.
I got a great
It's pretty. It's pretty and it's tight, and anybody that's in there is lucky.
Can anybody, has people vouched for you and said that? Have you heard it at least 2 times?
Oh, a million times.
Okay, then it's validated. Then stamp of approval.
It's validated.
Stamp of approval. I
Approved.
like it. Have you ever used food during intimacy? Have you ever put a grapefruit on a guy's dick? Have you ever used, whipped cream's very cliche and it doesn't really count.
It doesn't count.
No, I'd say cucumber. Have you fucked yourself with a cucumber? Have you, I'd rather more eat my food myself, but
I don't love the idea of mixing the food in the bedroom, but I always make jokes about being a feeder. Have you ever seen those YouTube videos?
No, please
about
tell.
feeders?
No, what happens?
So it's like,
Is it sexual?
yeah. So
Oh.
people, and it's like about control too. And people get off basically it's usually the dynamic that I've ever seen of a man feeding their heterosexual woman food until they get like literally 600-700 pounds, like the biggest, like they can't move.
Isn't that
immobile?
Isn't that like abuse?
Absolutely, without question. But it's also, I mean, with the abuse, there's like the sexual. I guess
it's like the same thing as like people wearing diapers or some shit like that. Like,
right.
You know
it's
like
total,
play. I don't know.
Totally out there, but it's out there.
So you would be a feeder. You wouldn't be the one being fed. You don't want to be 800 pounds. You just want to be the one who's feeding.
No. I love the food. So like today I made a joke because I got a bunch of donuts and I was like, I think I was like feeding my man. I was like, I'm a feeder. I just think it's kind of like a funny.
You should put the donut on his dick and then eat it. See?
Yes.
Look,
get creative.
This is now you can answer that question if you ever come back, and then it'd be like, yes, after the last.
I'm gonna try it out. That's
I
it.
put a donut on a dick.
100%. I'll try it.
Put that donut on a dick.
Especially because it's like sweet and sugary, not like foul.
You do it for you, girl. The foods that you want to eat, you put like, hey, how can we incorporate this to make this great for me?
I'm into it.
Like, and you're pregnant. I'm sure you have cravings. Put it on the dick.
Put it on the dick.
It'll make you like blowjobs better, maybe.
Yes, definitely. A little trail.
Put some peanut butter on it.
Exactly.
Do something. Okay, let's see. Have you ever called someone the wrong name during sex?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll believe you, I guess. So last questions are going to be romantic questions, which is a heart. And I feel like you are definitely a romantic, Miss Fairy Tale. What is your favorite Walt Disney princess?
Sleeping Beauty, Princess Aurora.
Okay. Did you ever have a crush on a teacher?
I have had a hot teacher in 7th grade, social studies teacher.
I think I did too at the same time. But later on, one of my friends ended up hooking up with him when we graduated high school, which we still thought was weird. But 7th grade social studies.
This guy got rolled for underage, I guess.
Was it the
rape?
same person?
But it's like they had a girl in high school on our water polo team, like somehow moved into his house because his wife advocated for that. It was like she had to because something with her family, and then they started hooking up, and then he went away to jail. He was hot.
Were you sad that it wasn't you who got advocated to move into their house?
I'm at the time, absolutely.
You're like, damn it, why wasn't my mom not advocating for me to go over there? Lingerie or naked?
Naked. I'm just lazy sometimes.
Dumbest thing you've done to get somebody's attention?
Oh my gosh. What
Here,
have I
feel like
done?
you're gonna need one of these.
I want one of those.
What has Tasha done for someone that's not so smart? Dun, dun, dun,
Oh
dun,
my
dun,
gosh. I just know there's something there. Can you give me like an example so I can like brainstorm?
Maybe like lied that you like some kind of sport because you wanted to like they like this sport, or you lied about your profession because I mean that's kind of hard to do.
That is hard to do.
You're like, you're lying. I'm always like, I played it in a movie. It doesn't count. Like, what do you mean? I'm
Have
a
you
lot
done
of
that?
things. Yes, I always lie. Like especially being like on airplanes. Like I hate one of my pet peeves is like, why is it that when you meet someone they're like, oh, what's your name? And they're like, oh, well, what do you do? Well, why does what you do have to define who you are? And especially you're sitting in a close proximity of somebody. So I'm always like, are they ready to hear that I suck dick? Or am I just supposed to keep it PG for the flight? Some people, don't even engage. I just feel like, yeah. So I've definitely lied.
It's so weird when people are like,
what if I said,
what's your age?
Like, I'm always like, at first I'd be a student, and then I got too old to say I'm a student. So, a student in life, you know what I mean? But now I just don't even like, I feel like sometimes I do it on purpose. I don't even try to be approachable in those settings because I don't like small talk for no reason. That sounds fucked up.
No, I could see that.
But as far as like, I mean, have I had great conversations on airplanes? Yes. And and some people, I feel like that you meet, it's one of those things that's like again, destiny and whatever. And if you have a personality where like you can indulge me in a conversation and I stay engaged, great. If not, I'm always nice, but I always don't put myself and insert myself to be like, so hey, you want to talk the whole 5 hours? Absolutely not. I don't want to talk to anybody for 5 hours that I don't know. Because what is that doing for my life? Nothing. I probably have a million emails to look at, sleep that I'm deprived, something that I need to do that I'm just like, no, I'm cool. And that's why I have private talk, so I can have guests here and talk to you all about it all the time. Because I do like to talk. It's just like, where does this conversation getting me? Nowhere. So, you lie about them. You lie what you do. Because I just feel like it's not really important. I
but
feel
you
like
haven't like lied about that to somebody you're dating.
Dating? Absolutely
no, there's
not.
no way.
No,
Okay.
because I mean, at this point in life,
Yeah,
like, you know what I
know.
do for myself now? When I don't or I'm unsure of, like if I meet somebody somewhere, I'm like, here's my Instagram. Because at that point, you know exactly who I am. There's no denying who I am on my Instagram. So I'm like letting it be known that this is who I am. If you want to engage and be like, oh, hey, can I have your number or whatever, then I'll proceed from there. But I don't definitely, mind you, I don't date a lot either. But the times that I have, I definitely just put it out there because I feel like at this point in my career, I can't really hide who I am.
And you want to be
and not
upfront.
that everybody knows who I am or needs to know who I am.
Yeah.
But as far as like there's just more to what I do. I don't shoot scenes anymore. I'm known for being in the adult industry, but I have a podcast. I'm more in like the media sides of things.
But how will people know? Like, how will this man or woman, I don't know about the fact that you're not performing right now?
Because on my Instagram, that's why I do is it's very heavily influenced by my IG. I mean, and then
But
that's
does it
also
say that you're
it
not
doesn't
performing
say
anymore?
retired, no, but that's also a conversation that if we were to say follow up and be like, hey, what's your number? Do you want to go on a date? And I felt obligated, or not obligated, but I felt interested enough to go on that. Then throughout that first date, like you said yourself, him asking about whatever, how heavily are you in the industry? Are you active? Are you just have an OnlyFans? What do you do on your OnlyFans? What do you feel comfortable doing?
So you want them to be okay with the fact that like, this is you, this is your brand. And if they want more and they want to know more, then you'll be able to unfold that and tell
1,000. I just feel at this point I can't shy, nor do I want to shy, because I'm very proud of the accomplishments that I have made and also the woman that I am today to where I've been and where I am going.
Right.
That it's just a matter of fact of how that information is integrated to the next person that wants to be around me.
You want to unpack the baggage, whatever that may be in your life.
Well, it's something that you can't hide from. Why waste time and like have all these feelings for someone that's can't get over what I do or what I've done.
Yeah, I get
that. You know what I
that.
mean? Because then it's like, I'm sorry, but I can't take that away. I can't erase it. I have a past just like everybody else. That's why I don't judge people and theirs. I just take it accountable for how you treat me and show up now.
I like that.
Yes, ma'am. What's the most romantic thing you've ever done for a partner? Are you the one who gets things done romantic towards you, or you actually do outward? Because you're very, detailed oriented. I could just see you doing some romantic things.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do romantic things all the time. I'm just trying to think like what's like the most romantic thing.
The most over-top thing you've done.
Oh, I got my baby daddy recently a French bulldog puppy. I thought that was like pretty sweet. It was the one he really wanted, and I surprised him with.
So you pay attention to detail.
Yeah, he's the cutest little dog. So I definitely am a big fan of gifts. Like, I love receiving presents.
Is that your love language?
One of them, and I also love giving them to people. So if somebody tells me what they want, I like want to give that to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it. Well, that is the rest of our game. That is, you've completed it with, with great colors. Is there anything that you want to ask Ms. Texas before we leave?
Heck yes. So I want to ask you, like, what is your biggest goal or dream that you haven't accomplished yet?
Good question. I feel like for me, I want to get my podcast that I have. I want to get it seen by more people. I want to get more views, more sponsorships, more just more media attention from what I'm doing. I feel like a part of it in the beginning is kind of a stigma of like, oh, is it just porn related or is it this or whatever? But I really, I'm advocating for that. There's so much more to me than just the fact that I've done adult business or adult in my business or adult in my time. But it's like one of those things. So I feel like for me, it's just about pushing and pursuing my dreams. And right now the podcast is like my baby. It's something that, we created, and, I didn't know that I even wanted to do a podcast. And, it's been really fun and a really cool accomplishment just to see how far that my voice has come, and being more vulnerable with my fans and guests and, viewers out there. And I just want to keep that momentum up and, get on a network, Spotify, come by me.
Yes, I love that.
But yes. All of those great things. But yeah, no, I definitely know that it will happen. It's all timing is everything. I have some other projects that I've been working on for the last 2 years as well. The podcast isn't everything that I do. It's just a part of it too. So it's just all about branding and just, creating and keeping up my legacy. And so everybody can have a piece of Miss Texas, when I'm here present and when I'm gone.
I love it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much for coming. Please plug anything that you have going on, your social media, your websites, anywhere that we can support and promote what you have going on.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Tasha Reign's Life, and you can visit my website at tashareign.tv.
There you go, Private Talk. Thank you so much again. Good luck to everything that you have going on and to you being a mommy.
Thank you.
And all right, Private Talk, till next time.